Yes.
Okay, all right. Good evening once more. Mm, all right, today we'll be talking about my own aspect is actually about pre-sale, how to spot pre-sale, how to spot your IDUs and IEOs on either the past on the or the present, and how to know the launch parts that you should look out for their IDOs or IEOs, based on maybe how their previous project has done or something like that. So that will give you a clearer view as to should I go into this particular IEO or IDO or something like that. So today we'll be using CryptoRank.io. But before I share my screen for us to navigate the site, I just want to do a brief overview for us on what Presale is all about and how we'll get down to our IDOs and IEO, especially for the benefit of the new ones among us. So, crypto presale is basically about how crypto startups raise their funds, how they raise their funds, and how do they do that? They actually give out their tokens at a discounted rate to people. And why do they do that? They want to raise funds for their projects, and at the same time to create awareness for their project and amass number of supporters for their project. That is a way to build up their community, and at the same time a way for them to raise funds for the project. So what they usually do is that they sell out, they give out these their tokens at a discounted rate before it goes public. That's before it get listed on any exchange. So please, can we see hear me? Is my network misbehaving?
Yeah, sure. We can hear you.
Oh,
Continue.
all right. So I said that's what pre-sale is basically all about. The main thing is they're doing that is to raise funds and at the same time to attract new investors and to grow their community. So they will be selling out their token at a discounted rate more than it should be when it goes when it get listed on exchanges. Now we have different types of pre-sale. We have the private pre-sale and we have the public pre-sale. So for the private pre-sale, is simply where they sell out, they give out this their token at a discounted rate, but to people of close, people that has close relatives or close relationship with the project owners, that is with the dev, or they seek out for people that are influential, that has money, that can actually raise them a huge sum of amount of money. So in private pre-sale, they usually do it among a few people, unlike the public pre-sale. So it's usually about the devs telling their close people close to them that yes, they're doing a pre-sale, and those people will get whitelisted for the stuff. Then for the public pre-sale is the one that goes to the general public. So, but the difference between the private, aside that for the private pre-sale, they give it out to people close to the dev or to top influencers. The price that they give this token, for instance, let's assume Ada is here to do their pre-sale and they want to run their pre-sale. For their private pre-sale, they may decide, okay, that they're giving their private pre-sale at 0.02. Then okay, let's assume they will give it out for like for like 0.02. But when they now want to do a public pre-sale, they may decide to give it out at 0.05. That is to say that the discounted rate for this token during the private sale is cheaper than when it goes to the public sales and when it goes to the public pre-sale. So those are the main basic difference between the public and the private sale. Aside that the public goes to the general public, any individual that is maybe some they may bring out some criteria for one to be eligible to participate. That is you have to be whitelisted for you to be eligible to participate. But aside that, it goes out to the general public, and the price that is being given is a bit higher than the price they give out their same token for the private pre-sale. Now, for the public pre-sale, we have basically two types. Either is initial DEX offering or is initial exchange offering. Initial DEX offering simply means the pre-sale that will be done on decentralized exchanges, while for the initial exchange offering will be done on centralized exchanges. Now, there are criteria that one actually has to meet before one can be eligible for such. If it's the IEO, that is the initial exchange offering, one of their criteria is basically that you do a KYC with their exchange, and at the same time that maybe you have to buy their governance token. But the basic thing is that you must do a KYC with them before you can be eligible. Why for the initial DEX offering, what they do is that you must buy their governance token, and that's what you're going to be using to participate in the pre-sale. Now, what are the tools that we need when we want to check out for pre-sale? Is that you use your cryptorank.io, or you can as well use your Twitter handle. Remember, Twitter is just like any other search engine. So you can just go to the search bar and search for any project that is doing pre-sale, and you take it off from there. Then you now follow them to their website, and you now do your further analysis in terms of fundamental analysis about the project, and at the same time about the launch pad. So then for the tool that I'll be using today, which I said is the cryptorank.io, is going to show us past projects that are doing pre-sale. It's going to show us that's launchpad that are doing past, they are doing active pre-sale, or the one that have done before, or their return on investment for the ones that they've done. So that will give you an idea to if you see a pre-sale, you first of all need to take into consideration on which launchpad is this thing going off. Is it a launchpad that has a huge sum of amounts under their maybe like assets under their management, or what has been the result of the ones they've done in the past? So for that, we now have to take consideration about some specific launchpad platform based on their performance in the past, like the likes of Binance Lab and the rest of them. So we're going to see that when we start using the tool. So then other things that we need to take into consideration when we talk about pre-sale is that we'll also take into consideration the vesting period. Vesting period is also known as a lock-in period. For instance, when some projects do their pre-sale, they will tell you that this is going to be the vesting period. The vesting period is more or less like a fixed period for which a token is going to be locked based on some certain criteria. So if it does not meet such certain criteria, it will not be released. The essence of doing that is that people will not flood the token back into the market, thereby negatively impacting on the price of that token. So you might decide, you might get a pre-sale, and they will tell you, okay, that 30% is going to be locked, and they will not give you the vesting period. Okay, that you cannot have access to this token. That means for that token, if it's on that vesting period, you cannot have access. You cannot stake or you cannot trade that token at that moment. The essence is to for them to maintain the liquidity on their platform, and sometimes too the essence is for instance, if the dev, especially most devs, they usually have some reserved amounts that they keep for their vesting period. So when they do that, it's more or less like to build people's trust about the project, that they are here to stay, and that this so particular amount of token is locked for a so period, meaning they are not willing to flood it back to the markets. And so you as an investor, you need to have a rest of mind. Okay, so how then do you know that a particular pre-sale is going to do well? I've just said what you should look out for. You have to run some fundamental analysis on that token or on that project to get to know about the distribution, especially. You have to take note of the tokenomics to know the distribution of the token, to know if it's healthy or not. And this is one thing that Sir Bosco have always taught us often and on this platform. Then you also have to take into consideration who on which launchpad will this project be launched. Then you also do some past project evaluation. About once you've identified the launch pad, you have to do project evaluation. That is, what projects have they done in the past? What has been the return on investment, and all of that? How many X did he do, and all of that? So now I am going to be sharing my screen so that we'll just navigate through the cryptorank.io. So, but aside that, there's another site known as Pinxel, Pinxel.finance. Pinxel.finance is basically used is a launchpad for shitcoins. Is a decentralized protocol that provides projects with a platform for them to launch and create their projects, and at the same time do their pre-sale. So it serves as a launchpad and a place for them to create for crypto mints to create their projects. So, but for this cryptorank.io is basically for real projects, maybe blockchain projects, coins, that is project of value and not meme coins. So I'm going to be sharing my screen now. So please, I hope you can see my screen. Hello, Miss Favor.
Yeah, we can.
All right, okay. Okay, so here we
Yes,
are, cryptorank.io. Then for the likes of those of us that like collecting the candies of any site, these people they give spaceship. So you can be collecting their spaceship. But here we are. So once you go to their menu, you can now go to, first of all, you need to let's check out venture capitalists. That is projects, people that sponsor crypto projects or any other related projects. So what we'll be looking at there for is going to be their market cap or their assets under their management to know how valuable a particular venture capitalist is. Okay, here we are. It's a crypto funds and investors. Find key data about popular venture capitalist funds and investor portfolio. View and compare market performance, investment, and other crucial metrics. Click on your favorite venture capitalist to gather more insights on their portfolio. Okay, so here we go. Here are the different venture capitalists. That is, people that sponsor projects or that carries out a launchpad. So let's look at their market cap. This Andreessen, I think he has the highest market cap from what we're seeing here. He has assets, its assets under management is 288.18 billion. That means if you see any project that these people are sponsoring, you should know that is a pointer that they would actually do well. Remember, when it comes to a venture capitalist, their asset on their management is a pointer, is a criteria for you to know how good those people are. For instance, if I'm a business person and I want to invest into your business, and I'm telling you that all my asset that I have is 1 million, and then you see somebody that has an asset of 10 million, which one will you choose? So here we have Andreessen, 288.18 billion. We have Animoca brand, 11.88 billion. Let's see. This is their dominance, their market dominance as a venture capitalist. And this has been their gains and losses. So as you can see, these ones are healthy. Their gains are quite much more than their losses. Then we have the Binance Lab. Its market cap is about 20.07 billion. So it's not left for us to look out what we are looking at for here is their market cap, that is their assets under management. That will help us know are these people that will I say serious, or what's their total value that they have or something like that. So for now, let's from here we've seen them all. That means if you now see a project that these ones would back up, you should definitely not all of them, but you're going to be picking based on their market cap that we can see here. For instance, the one that we are seeing here that has huge market cap, we are seeing at the Anderson, this Arrington XR something, then the Binance Lab, we have this blockchain, and we have this Coinbase venture capitalist. So Delphi Digital and the rest. So that's what we are looking out for here on the front. That will give you a pointer to the venture capitalists that you should look out for. Then let's take funding round. Okay, these are projects. These are projects and the amounts that they've raised. These are projects and the amounts that they've raised. So I don't think they will have to do anything with this one since it's already passed. But the only thing we can do here is we might look at their venture capitalists. We might look at how much that the project raised, as in the venture capitalists, which kind of project are they sponsoring? Are they really raising huge amounts of, are they interested in projects that raise huge amounts of money, or they are just sponsoring projects that does not really that were not vying for a huge sum of money? So that's what this place is going to, or that's the help that this place is going to be to us. So here now we can see the venture capitalists, the funds and investors. We have Lattice, we have Sony Network, we have Polygon Fund. Then we can check back to see the projects that they sponsored. How much was it raised? Let's see the highest that raised fund here. Let's see this Mythica game, $37 million. Let's see who their venture capitalists are. SkyTail Digital. So you might decide to trace this SkyTail Digital to see other things, other information about them, to see other projects that they've sponsored in the past. Okay, so this SkyTail Digital, the basic thing they actually sponsor is DeFi, gamified, and the next is NFT. DeFi is just 12.5%. Okay, here's their market cap. Then that means you have to tally. Remember, with the other side, we looked at what's the total assets under their management. That is maybe like what are they worth? What's their dollar worth? So you have to marry that with the project that they've been sponsoring. What are they actually raising? How much are they raising? Are they raising reasonable amount of money or not? So in this case now, for this one, we've seen that their market cap is not that as high as the previous ones we looked at. They are just worth 290 million. And these are the number of projects that they've sponsored so far within the months, within the last 1 year. Sarah, I think it's voting. What this place is supposed to show us is going to give us more details about these SkyTail, who they are, what they do, and all of that. So, but right now, let's check out past IDOs, upcoming one, and the present ones. Okay, so let's go to IDO. Yeah, so here we see past. First of all, let's check past IDOs. Past IDOs and ICOs. Okay. These are projects that did their this thing in the past. Sorry, it's booting. Supposed to scroll to the right or to the left. It was supposed to, as you can see, I'm trying to scroll, but I'm not actually seeing much thing. But by right, it's supposed to extend for me to see every other thing that is within there. That is how much that these projects raised in the past. Then what percentage did they do? Let me open one and see if it's going. Okay, it's actually booting. That's why I'm not seeing other things. Okay, so this one ended today. It's actually ended today. Today is 29th June. And this was how much they raised, $200K. And this was the price at which it went up 0.099. Okay, and this was what they had for public sale. 22% of the token was what they gave out for public sale. So here it's going to give you the detail about every detail that you need to know about the project. How much are they giving out for the IDO? And at what price is it going up for? What percentage is reserved? It's basically give you a general overview, maybe like about the project. What percentage is the team holding, and what percentage are they giving out for the public sale, and all of that. So here we'll give you an overview to study the project. And from here you can go to their websites. You can check out, look out for their socials. Let me see. Sorry, I was trying to see. Okay. Here you can check out their socials. From here you can go to their website to do further study about them to know if the project is actually worth buying into. Then you can dig in more. This is where you now do your fundamental analysis as to who are the people behind it, check their social media handles, what's the number of people, the followers that they have, go to their tokenomics, check their tokenomics, what's the distribution, and all of that. So from here, that means all you need to do here is your fundamental analysis, which I will not be going into because we've been doing fundamental analysis off and on. But I've just reminded us of the things that we need to look out for here, especially the tokenomics in terms of the distribution. Then you check out the team, check out their social media handles or followers and all of that. So that will give you a clue as to, aside knowing who the launchpad, which launchpad is launching on, you get to know more about the project. So here are active ones. If you want to check out for the active ones, sorry, I think it's loading. I think I'm having some slight network hitches because if I'm not having network hitches, if I since I opened this one, it's supposed to show me on which launchpad. As you can see, if I'm scrolling to the right, you're seeing some things that they're supposed to be in full. It's supposed to give you idea. It's supposed to show you details about on which launchpad is it launching and all of that. But I think maybe because of my network issues, I'm not able to see all of that. but you can take out your time to look for that. So here shows us the active ones. Here are the active ones that are currently doing their launchpad. So it's also supposed to show you, as I'm scrolling now, it's supposed to show me by the light, it's supposed to show me which launchpad is it going, off, how many days interval from today to when is it ending, and all of that. At what price is it going off, and all of that. So but I think network is actually not allowing me to see all of that. So now let's look at the return on investment for other launchpads. Okay, can we now see it? So this gives us a pointer as to, for instance, the last shoe launchpad, it went off on Bybit. I don't know what Mantle is doing. I'm guessing that they will want to do something to with Bybit. So, but as you can see here, this is the percentage return that has been done by Binance Lab, percentage return on investments that has been done by Binance Lab for their investors in terms of launchpad, 1,505,000. Then the next to it, um, this is basically on IEO, that is initial exchange offering. That is for the centralized exchange. So the highest is Binance, next to it is KuCoin, next to it is Bybit, next to it is OKX Jumpstart, then Hobby, Bitforex, and all of that. But the base, I think for me, if I were to judge by this, I'd rather pick the first three. So that means any launchpad that is going off on Binance Lab or on KuCoin or on Bybit, then you should be sure that the return on investment is going to be high, because of this return on investment that they've recorded over time. So let's check Binance Lab to see further information about them. Okay, so here we are. They support blockchain infrastructure, blockchain services. Those are the more basically one way they put in their money. So these are the ones that they've done in the past. And this is the return on investment, the current return on investment, as you can see. When they did for Polygon, it did 244x. That is the present return on investment. But the all-time high of the return on investment is 1,104.85%, 85 times. So when they did for Axie Infinity, this was the all-time high of their return on investment, 1,643.43x. So you can imagine, and just check out the Edu that they did last. I think, yeah, Edu was the last they did, right? So Edu that they did yielded 33.55%. That is the all-time high of their launchpad on Edu. This was what investors got. Then this was what Space ID got 41 times. That is, if you had invested $10, 10 times, 41 times, you know what it is. So this gives us a pointer to like, now we're looking at Binance Lab. We've looked at this, the ones they've done in the past has yielded this return on investment. And you can know that when next they are doing another one is something that one needs to rush, because you know that their subsequent one is going to do well. So as you can see, this has been their return on investment for all the ones that they've done in the past. So, are we with me? Hello?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we are with
we are
you.
with you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Alright. So this was when it was founded, 2017. Alright, so for IDO, let's check out IDO. IDO return on investment. Sorry, I think it's built in. Okay. Please, judging by this, I, for me personally, I would rather look out um for IDOs that are going off on IEO. No, for ICO that are going off on IEO. Remember, ICO is the umbrella initial coin offering, which houses either your IDO or your IEO. But from this data that we are looking at, that means IEO has been doing far better than IDO. That are actually better, being that we are looking at that red, we should be looking at the one that has least percentage of of uh, of return on investment. So among these, we can now see that means the one that is best among all these ones is the Maker DAO, the DAO Maker. The next to it is Speedify, TrustSwap, and all of that. So, but the best out of them, as we can see, is the DAO Maker. But overall, while comparing IEO and IDO, that means IEO is far better, as we saw that most of them are in green. So this will also impact the percentage of what we are seeing here. Will also impact on their return on investment. So let's just take out DAO Maker to see other ones that they've been doing, other projects that they've been doing in the past. Maybe what has been the return on investment, and to see if they actually merit this their being number one among all the decks, among all the IDOs. Okay, these were the ones they did in the past. These are the return on investment. Okay, they were the one that did for Alice, my neighbor. This coin. So here we are. These are the all-time high for the return on investment for all the ones that they've done in the past. As you can see, Alice, my neighbor, yielded 298.48x, the all-time high. You can see GameFi yielded 336. Man, this is huge money. Jesus. So this actually tells us that if you decide to choose an IDO platform, that means the one you should look out for is this DAO Maker. That's the topmost that you should look out for. These were the money that they raised for this project. This was the total raise, and this was when these IDOs were done. So I think that's basically what I want to show us. So Miss Favor. Hello?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So I hope I didn't end up
So
confusing us, but we got something little from what I said, yeah.
yeah, I believe we did. So thanks for the teaching this night. Let's get questions from those who have a question to ask. So if you have a question, you can unmute your mic. I didn't mute anybody's mic today, so let's do it calmly. If you have a question, you can unmute your mic and ask a question.
Yeah, Ms. Favor, thank you. Good evening, everybody in the house.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to the lecturer that took us this evening. Good evening, madam.
Sir.
Please, thank you for the lectures. They are wonderful. We learned a lot of things. I have some questions that I want to ask. One of the questions is that I want to know different launch pads that we have. These are just like as you just named the CryptoRank.io, Pinksaid.finance. I want to know if there are other websites that handle Launchpad. That is my first question. My second question is when you were analyzing IDOs, you from your screen, I saw rates, and those rates are increasing in percentages as they descend down, as they go down. And on top of it was a price return. But I also remember, I also saw that when you are handling IEOs, you choose, there were greens, and the greens were descending downwards, and you said that we should choose the first three. But when you come to IDO, you now decided to choose the first, which is even the smallest in the red. It was the smallest. So I want to know why it is like that. I know that that section and that column is price return, but on the other column is return is ROI. So I want to know the difference. That is my second question. Let me stop here for now. I have other questions, but maybe I should give you a chance to answer this one before I move on to the other questions. Thank you very much.
All right, so welcome to your questions. Okay, for now, for me, the only platform that I know, to the best of my knowledge at the moment, is this CryptoRank.io. And what I would have what actually do on DeFi Llama is where you go and check the venture capitalists to check their what's it called now, their assets under management. That's their total value logs. So you can now align what you got there from, and you can now align what you're getting there with what you're getting on CryptoRank based on the assets under management for each of the launch parts or for each of the venture capitalists.
Please, can you call that website again, because I'm writing down.
DeFi Llama. That's DeFiLlama.com, right? Favor.
Is dilemma? Can you please give me the spelling of dilemma?
DEFI double L A M A.
Double L.
Yes, AMA.
Okay. DeFi Llama. Okay. What is the extension? What?
.com.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, now then the next question that you were asking, you asked that for the IEO that I said you can pick the first three. Remember, those ones are they're in green. That is, they are doing well. They're in profit. Do you understand? Based on the market, what's happening in the market, and based on what they've been doing at the market. So that was why I was like, they gave us a ranking of the launch pads that were doing well, and they gave us Binance. Was it Binance Lab? That was the highest. Let me check again. IEO. Sorry, button. Okay. So here we are. So now Binance Lab, just like I said, from what you're seeing here, this is their return on investment so far in the history of their participation in Launchpad. So they've done 1,502.1% return on investment for the people that have been participating in their Launchpad. Then the next to it, based on these all these ones are AEOs, that is exchange, centralized exchange launchpad. So based on that, then the next to Binance is now this KuCoin, and they've done 289.8%. Then the next to it is 95%, which is by Bybit. That means as you're going down, the lower the percentage or the lower the volatility in terms of their return on investment of these different platforms. Do we understand, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but if we are now looking at IDOs, IDOs are in loss. Now, definitely you cannot go and pick the one that has the highest loss. That means the one among the ones that are viable here should be the one that has the least loss.
Okay.
Because even we are expecting them to do well, to be in profit, to be in green and to be positive, to have positive percentage that they are in terms of their return on investment. But here they are now having negative inverse return on investment. So comparing the IEO and IDO, we now know that IEO is better than IDO for Launchpad. But now within the IDO, we now have to choose the one that has the least yes, percentage in terms of return on investment. That means it's actually more healthier than the ones that has higher loss reduction in percentage in terms of return on investment.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Please, I want to further my question. I don't know if another person have to ask questions, or should I?
Go ahead. Or Favor, what do you have to say about that? I think I go ahead. Okay.
Okay. I want to know the difference, because when you use these words, you use them interchangeable. When you say pre-sale, do you actually mean IDO, or is IEOs, seed sales, are they quite different from pre-sale, or are they all called pre-sale? That is my next question.
Okay, pre-sale is the same thing as the same thing as ICO. ICO means initial coin offering. So initial coin offering is simply a way that crypto startup raise funds for their project by giving out their tokens at a discounted rate. They'll sell it out at a discounted rate. Now, under ICO, which is initial coin offering, we now have private one and a public one. Now, under the public one, we now have the IDO and the IEO. So IDO here means initial decentralized exchange offering, while the IEO is initial exchange offering, but they are all pre-sale. So it's more or less like pre-sale. You can use pre-sale in exchange for initial coin offering.
Okay. What is seed sale?
Seed sale, honestly, I can't give an answer to that.
Okay,
I don't
know. Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. Should I still further my questions? This lecture was I put down a lot of questions that I want to ask on this lectures.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, please, in a nutshell, what is a degen? Because I do hear people use that word, degen, D-E-G-E-N. What is degen?
Okay, another word for degen is just simply your shit coins, your meme coins, your shit coins, your meme coins. Okay. That is coins without value, but their value is being driven by their community engagement and all of that, or influencers. But there's no real use cases. In as much as these days some shit coins are coming up with real use cases.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. Because please, this question is actually not of this lecture, but if I could get answer to this question, I'll be happy. Please, ma, I want to know what is the difference between assets and securities, because most of the times when we talk, especially maybe when we discuss on this Codastech Academy, we do hear so many news, especially our morning news. When we reflect on the things that happen in this space, we do hear SEC against saying particular cryptos are securities, and when they say that these cryptos are securities, it seems there's problem with that crypto or that particular coin. Actually, like I use a Repo XRP as a case study. So I know that when SEC said labels a particular asset or crypto, to me, I don't know the difference between now when they said the one that is asset, and why, if they say a particular crypto is a security, why is always problem with that particular asset? That's another question that I want to know. I don't know if I don't know if my question meets you well, or if you understand what I was trying to convey.
All right. I understand what you mean, but I honestly don't have a clear answer to that. Maybe Favor will help us out with that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Miss Favor.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
For the first question he asked, yeah. For the first question he asked, the seed cell. I will just be answering that based on like my early stage experience in the space. Now, seed cell is a bit different from pre-sale. There is a public sale and or the private sale. It's a bit different from it. Now, the differences is this: if a project wants to launch, like a new project wants to come up in the cryptocurrency industry, the first thing some of them do is the seed sale. And that seed sale is basically, they don't really make it open to everyone. It's known by the team members of that particular project. Now, it's usually done by the team. What they do in such a situation is that they meet investors, like the people that we call startup investors. These top investors are people who are interested in investing in startups, cryptocurrency startups or companies at the early stage. So they meet these investors, just a kind of a private meeting with the investors, and tell them this is what our project is all about. We need more people to, bring in funds and help in the development of our project. So those investors now that would invest in the project at an early stage are people that participated in the seed cell. Even before the project will be made known, like people will begin to know about the project, the seed cell has already taken place, because this stuff is being done a kind of silently. It's just the team that knows that they do it. So like I once worked with a project. Yeah, I'm also working with one of research. I've also worked with a project that they haven't yet launched. Nobody have known about them yet, but they have got to meet some persons who are interested in that. There are some investors who are not specified in that. Like they just love investing in startups. So they got to meet these investors who are interested in investing with startups, just a private meetup for them to contribute and invest in the product at a very, very early stage. Then after that, they can now bring it up, for the private sale. That private sale now, like Ms. Justina just said, it involves both the devs, people that knows the devs and the rest of them before they bring it up to the public. So the seed sale is a kind of a silent way of contributing money, which some cryptocurrency startups or industries use. I don't know if I answered that question and I clarified.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Favor. Thank you.
Now for the one of continue what you want to say. The second question you asked.
Yeah, I think.
Continue with the second question. I want to get it clearly.
No, I talked about assets and securities. I asked about assets and securities. With respect to SEC, the difference. Can you hear me? Whoever is out.
I don't know, maybe her network territorial. All right, I think maybe somebody else. Okay, she's back. Hello, Miss Favor. I think our network is giving her issues. Miss Favor.
Okay, while we're waiting for her, while we're waiting for her.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you, Favor. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Favor, we can hear you.
Okay, so take it again, please. My network just carried me out.
Favor, I asked the difference between assets and securities with respect to SEC. Can you hear me? Favor?
I think our network is
Yeah,
really
yeah,
bad.
I heard you. I heard you. Yeah, I heard. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, please.
Come on, it can't.
You
All
say what
right.
we can.
Now, well, we'll talk about security. All right, all right. Now we'll talk about security tokens. So, security tokens are like a kind of cryptocurrencies that, should I use the word, has an offline value. Now let's use for example, just trying to put it in a very no. Let's use for example now, Binance. SEC actually called BNB a security token because the value or the price of BNB, the utilities of BNB is not just gotten from the industry alone. It extends to real life values, like stuff like Binance now has to do with we have the Binance charity, we have the Binance education, like stuff that has to do with Binance is also into real estate and a lot more. So like the fact that that token is a native token of a company that has a lot to do with real life assets. So SEC call them security tokens because those real life assets hasn't been a kind of licensed by them being the SEC. For example, like the Binance I use now. Now it could be that Binance having this, and that, a lot of industries with that name Binance hasn't really gone through the processes that is meant to go through by the SEC or with the SEC before they'll say that this BNB, which is the native token, is a security-based token or a security token. So SEC actually hurts or goes against security tokens because their value is not just gotten from the online industry, utilities, and not just like we see other cryptocurrencies. They have to do with real life assets like real estate, having a company offline that is not really related to cryptocurrency and all that. They are security tokens. Now, when we talk about the assets, I wouldn't really have a good example to explain these assets very well. But the assets are a kind of just almost like the security tokens. They're almost like the security tokens. It's just that they are mainly blockchain networks. These assets now are mainly blockchain networks. They are native tokens of a blockchain. And I think this would be the best time to use. They are native tokens of blockchain networks. Like we have the Bitcoin, the Ethereum. No, Ethereum is not among. Yeah, Ethereum is among the Ethereum Ether. That is native token of Ethereum blockchain. We have the SRP, native token of the Ripple, Litecoin, and the rest of them. These are assets. They are not real, their values, not all of them that our values are gotten from or that has something to do with real life assets or companies or utilities. There is more of online, more of online than other security tokens like the BNB. I don't know if I've been able to clarify you to an extent.
Thank you very much.
Hearing me?
Thank you very much, Favor. Yeah, thank you, Favor. But please, I beg to have a different view on this particular assets and security tokens. Why? Because I have seen in the news where SEC says that the only the only coin that they tagged asset is only BTC. That the rest of about we have about 22,000 coins, tradable coins, and tokens. SEC now say that the only one they tagged asset is only BTC, that the rest are securities. Little wonder the case between Repo and SEC is like a fight for the whole of this of tradable coins and tokens. That's why the world of cryptocurrency are very much interested on what will be the outcome of Repo and SEC. Because should in case that SEC won the case, it actually means that it is only BTC that will stand out in the whole of 22,000 plus tradable coins and tokens. Even Ethereum even Ethereum, SEC say that Ethereum is even securities. Not even Ethereum succeeded in being tagged as an asset. So that is the case. Maybe we should John Bosco, we should revert John Bosco in this, because ever since then I have been thinking, and I said, okay, I really want to know who can actually explain. And second, the major thing is, why is it that when they said it's a security, they go all out for that particular coin? You see that coin or that token having issues in the market. So that's the thing. Thank you.
Okay. Let me just break it down like this way now. Okay, so Don Bosco is even here with us. Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Let me just say just a brief explanation. We have different kinds of tokens. We can use the word. You can even use the word coins. We know that coins are cryptocurrency assets that have their own blockchain, while tokens use another person's blockchain to build their project. We are aware of that, but in our definition of what are the security, different kinds of tokens, we have security tokens, we have utility tokens, and other kinds of tokens. The problem there is this: SEC is using already existing laws to describe cryptocurrency. What are the security tokens? What are the utility tokens? Utility tokens are those tokens that are meant, in actual sense, the original vision of the coins or the tokens is to be used within their ecosystem. Something like Binance, BNB is a utility token or coin. The original design of BNB is to be used for Binance ecosystem. If you are building an application on Binance, you have to buy BNB, stake BNB, then use it for other Binance Launchpad NFTs. So it is meant to be used within the Binance ecosystem. That is the original vision of all the utility tokens. But you cannot force the participants, with the traders and investors, how we are going to use these tokens. Now traders can start exchanging, buying it, making profits, returns from it. That is where SEC is having issues. SEC is saying once they can transact and make money, use that as a form of payment, as a form of investment, is security. Security meaning that it has some ROI, return on investment. Once you put it, it rises in price. For stake is a security token. That is their own description. But in cryptocurrency, the security tokens are those tokens that have physical, apart from the digital form of it, there are physical equivalent of whatever they represent in the digital form. Something like a real estate. You can say that so coin, they have a real estate property, so once you buy it, they have the land over there. It's security because that digital asset is secured by physical assets. That's the reason we call it security token. And the essence of security token is to bring return in an investment. Utility tokens are not meant to bring return in investment. So you see the argument of sake. If you are doing an investment, if you are doing investments, you are making return from it. It should be classified as a security token. That is their own argument. Then, but in cryptocurrency space, we know that security tokens are those ones that have fiscal assets that back it up. For us, that is what we think of as a security token. And once it's security token, it falls under the SEC. The meaning of SEC is the Security and Something Exchange. SEC. That is the meaning of SEC. So they are there to monitor, regulate, and control every asset that fall within that categories. So the problem there is this: there is no a well-defined, collated laws and classification from the government on what are the security tokens. And that is the reason in cryptocurrency we have been begging them, give us clarity. What do you think about the space? Give us your regulations. Let's see what you think of security tokens are this. So from my own observation, what the American government is doing is pure manipulation. If you understand it, they are doing pure manipulation. American government wants to have greater access and control of the whole system, cryptocurrency space. That is just their plan. They know what they are doing. They understand the game. They really understand it very well. They want to control that system because indirect, whether we like it or not, is affecting value of dollars. And many existing financial institutions are collapsing. People are migrating to digital environments. Ask yourself, what makes money for these old Web2 financial institutions? What is making money for them? It's not our participation. It's not when we deposited money with them. It's not when we come to withdraw money, do transfers. That is where these guys are making money. Now think of it. Most of people that usually doing fixed deposits are no longer fixed deposit their money. They are moving it into cryptocurrency. So in actual sense, financial institutions are suffering. And these financial institutions, government is controlling it. They are paying taxes to the government. Government is the one manipulating it. So if it collapses, American governments will lose heavily. One, American dollars will no longer become world reserve currency. Secondly, you know what it is. You know that America is, because of their currency, because of dollars, American dollars is world reserve currency. They are controlling the economy of the whole world, whether we like it or not. So America will fight. But it's not that they are fighting to close crypto. They are fighting to control crypto, see how they can merge it with their traditional fiat, which is their USA dollars, in order to make sure that American dollars remain the standard globally. But they came late. China had fought cryptocurrency more than any other country. America is not even fighting cryptocurrency. They didn't know that Chinese government fought cryptocurrency, sent people to prison because of their buying and participating in digital assets, crypto assets. They didn't know that formerly more than 60% of the mining powers were concentrated in China and its province. But when the Chinese government started messing up, in fact, before 2017, Chinese government had banned cryptocurrency 3-4 times. They will ban cryptocurrency after like a year, they will repeat it again. So Chinese government had fought cryptocurrency more than any other country. Now look at it. They are banning cryptocurrency. Your enemy that had banned it before now has an open hand for it. Inculcating it, try to make sure cryptocurrency is part of their national life. You really think the American government will allow Chinese government to topple them economically? The war currently is not warfare wars. The war globally between America, China, Russia is economic war. And if anyone missteps, the other one will take over. Chinese government wants to control the world. And they have opened up widely, being so feasible for cryptocurrency. American government is studying all day. American government is trying to make some move to control the space. For them, they need to control the space. That shows their target. They really need to control the space. But see the implications, what might have happened. World had understood that both financial system is scam. That's just the truth. Whereas our commercial banks, they have nothing doing. They are just middlemen. Be it GTB, all of them are middlemen. Do you know how many billions and trillions of naira these guys made within the first 6 months of the year? What are they doing in actual sense? They build banking halls and all these things, have some few staffs and all these things. Let me tell you what those guys are doing. If they deposit money, they use their money for business. You want to take it, they give you just not up to 0.1% of what you deposited. And you'll be happy going home. Sometimes you deposit your money, you want to collect it, they will tell you there is no money. They have loaned it out. And people that corrected, borrow it from them will still pay the massive interest in return. While they are still using your money to trade forex. Good number of them have forex department, that guys that are trading forex for them. So what is making money for them is your own money that you deposited with them. In actual sense, they are just third party, they are intermediaries. They have nothing, no serious offer, no serious job. It's not just design of governments find a way of slotting these guys and use laws and constitutions to back them. But in actual sense, if I may ask you, what is that bank doing for you? In actual sense, cryptocurrency do it and do it better. So the problem there is this: there is old system that has been benefiting the government. You want to use a new system to push them down, they will fight. It's just simple truth. What I am seeing in cryptocurrency is not shaking me even 0.001%. I am not even concerned, because historically, look for all the innovations that came to be. There is no innovation that government did not fight. Internet, American government fought internet. In fact, there are well-known scientists in America that say that there is nothing like internet. There is no way somebody will be in America speaking to somebody in Nigeria at the same time, both of them will be hearing themselves. Even one of us in Nigeria, one of presidential candidates, we said when this, what is the name of this platform? Is it Zoom? Came out, those guys met in America. He told him it's not possible that somebody in Nigeria will be talking just like that. The same time, it's not something like recorded video and sent to the person. They met him to come and invest in when they are looking for seed funds, and he refused. So all those things, he didn't take time to see where what is going. When Facebook is starting, his friend that he called, they met some investors. They said that it's not possible. How come it's possible? Today, what are we seeing? People are saying that AI today, we know billions of dollars are moving into AI. Every innovation normally is normal. There is always an old system. Old institutions have beneficiaries. They cannot sit and watch you and you come and take food from their mouth. They will fight. And government is benefiting from it. They will fight seriously. But the truth is this: innovation cannot be stopped. Cryptocurrency blockchain has come to be. That is just the truth. There is nothing one can do about it. One country in Central Africa has the president and their House of Assembly approve cryptocurrency as a means of payments. In their country, adoption is going on. Our concern shouldn't be what American government is doing. Yes, we know that we should show concern, because whether we like it or not, for today, America is still controlling what they call them. But at the same time, if there is any laws against cryptocurrency in America, the only one or two things that will happen is this: many Americans will migrate to cryptocurrency-friendly country. People that are heavily interested in cryptocurrency, they will leave America. And talents, startup, innovative minds will leave America to another country. It happened in Nigeria. When they passed regime, because of their ego, because of their obnoxious, archaic laws against cryptocurrency, many brilliant minds in Nigeria left this country, some to Dubai, some other America continent, some countries in America, that's South Americans, that accepted them. Whenever there is try to be so rigid against innovative ideas. Two things that normally happens are, one, the creative and innovative mind cannot fight you as a government. They will leave you and move to another, migrate to another place where there is a conducive environment, continue building their ideas. And we have seen it happened in China to the point that Chinese government had to use their own military and police force to stop people migrating, cryptocurrency guys migrating to another country, force them to stay back because they know what it is. They came back, try to make it friendly now. So in Nigeria, it happened last year in Nigeria. If you disturb many American guys, they will migrate. And remember, American passport is like national access to any country you want to move to. Once you see that American passport, hey, American, we just want us. So if the government push them hard, they will leave to another, migrate to another city. Many of them have already started acquiring licenses in Dubai and some countries that are cryptocurrency friendly, with anticipation whatever that comes out from their country. Coinbase had already moved their headquarters. They announced, I think, UK or thereabouts. Binance has moved to many other countries. These are people that with American government will lose a lot. So even if they just close eye when they said no more cryptocurrency, it only affects people within the jurisdiction. I myself as a Nigerian, nothing stops me to trade cryptocurrency. You yourself as a Nigerian or in your own country, nothing stops you. So we shouldn't be so emotional, attached to whatever this American government is doing, but we should show concern because our market is highly speculative and very reactive. Whenever there is negative news from American government, market will shake. Whenever there is positive news, market will jump. But I am happy that cryptocurrencies market is maturing. If despite the news, market did not drop much, it's still above $30,000. Shows that market is moving outside the influence of Americans or American government. So my conclusion is this. Their classification, there is no documents that has defined what are the security tokens from the SEC in America. Nigerian government has released cryptocurrency digital access guideline. Now, if you want to build a project in Nigeria, you can just pick that guideline, understand what Nigerian government regards as security, and see the conditions to build it up. You go to government, get licenses and all these things. We are saying the government should give us defined clarity of what they want, how they want it. If it's too hard for you as a startup to meet up their requirements, you can migrate to friendly country and contribute in your idea. So this is just what I have to say, and I thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that clarity there. So this is 9:20. I think we have to wrap up the section here and go. Any other question? Let's just pick one more question before we go.
Favor, I have.
Okay, sir. Continue.
Okay. Please, Favor, please do explain to me what is governance token.
Governance token. Can I still remember what governance tokens are? Anyways, there are tokens that okay, sir, take it up, please.
Okay. Governance token. From the word governance, you should understand governance token is related to utility tokens. But governance token mainly is tokens that are using for voting a kind of gives us special permission or privileges. For instance, if there is a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, these decentralized autonomous organizations, they are like a cooperative society in physical world. In cooperative society, if you belong to any of them, some of them are doing contribution weekly. It's just people of this common interest coming together and say, oh, let's saving small things ahead so that by December we can divide whatever we have. Or they are doing it in this way. Every month, one person will take all the contribution. They continue another person turn by turn. This is just cooperative society. The same thing is what DAO, the centralized autonomous organization, represents in Web3. These are people of common interest. They come together. It's okay. We are this project, all of them, they have common interest. They join that. There's okay, this project, before any action to be taken on this project, we need to vote, and before the team can do anything. Yes, there is team that owns the project, but there are people that are like stakeholders. They believe on the project, they invested heavily on it. There are certain conditions before you can join the DAO. And once you join the DAO, you'll be given a kind of governance token. That governance token will give you the power to vote on any decisions before the team or the owner of that project can take actions. So for instance, let's assume that there is a coin that is by the name Justina, is the name of the coin. Then there is team, five-man team, which are the project owners. Now these guys now said, okay, they want to do this like a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. They need a kind of body that can advise, makes decisions on whatever the team will do. And the team might decide, okay, during our pre-launch, before the launch of our DAO, we will raise $1 million. Out of that $1 million, what we need is just $200,000 for development. The many other ones will be decided. Any action that will be taken before we have access to the many other ones, our DAO that we are forming, we vote, make decisions on that. See how it works. Then the team now form a DAO. I'll just give them certain conditions. Maybe any person that has up to $50,000 worth of their coin, or $10,000 worth of their coin, you will pay. They will give you a special token that shows that you're a DAO member. That is governance. That governs the ecosystem. Like a DAO member, you have that token. Now, team wants to remove money from the many $800,000 because there is a kind of DAO. The team cannot just do that. They have to revive back to the DAO, which are like supervisors. They are governance people that are governing the token. Oh, see what we do, see what we will do. The DAO they will put it into voting. So those tokens that they have, they will start voting. They may have 2 to 3 options. Anyone the DAO decide is what the team will do. So the governance token is like the token that's always give them power to make decision, give individuals, investors power to make decision on a given project. And there are some conditions attached to it. But in cryptocurrency, there is no defined common nomenclatures of naming things. Some people are using both that governance token as a utility token. They will tell that this is coin that governs activities of everything in our ecosystem. Some will tell you, some will even build a governance token instead of calling it a utility token. They will say that it's a governance token. Before you can farm, you buy our governance token. Before you can build on our list, they buy our governance token. So they're using this with utility token interchangeably. But in actual sense, governance token specifically is made for DAOs. Why utility token is for the whole of the ecosystem. Utility token is for the whole ecosystem. You want to build application, you want to transact on Binance platform, it is expected that transaction fee that you will pay will be converted to BNB as the utility token. You want to use Trust Wallet, utility token is the best token. You want to use Bitcoin market cap is owned by Binance. So all those things, all this ecosystem, all the product of Binance, Binance Merchant Network, all of them is their primary token is BNB. That is the utility token. But some people will say that's the governance token. So they're using it interchangeably. But I just want you to understand it this way. And when we finally have a kind of nomenclature, a well-stated nomenclature in cryptocurrency, this is what it is. You can see that some team may call it this, another team is calling it, using it for different things altogether. But in actual sense, what you should know is that generally speaking, there are utility tokens and there are governance tokens. But sometimes some teams use it interchangeably. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that answer. Good night. Mr. Jonathan, do you have more questions to ask?
It's not a question, it's a plea. It's a plea that it's just to beg.
Please, I have a question to ask.
All right. Mr. Richard.
Okay, Richard,
hold
go
on,
on,
please.
go
Let's
on.
conclude.
Richard, go on.
Okay,
No,
thank
finish
you
up
very
yours.
much.
Just finish
No,
yours.
thank Okay, no, thank you.
Thank
The last word is a plea because initially when lecture was going on, I put down one of the questions that I also put down from the lectures was I said who are venture capitalists, but eventually I guess I found that I understood as Justina was as the lecturer was teaching. I finally understood what she meant by there's venture capitalists. Then the last one that I want to say is just a plea. I want to beg the Favor and Justina and the boss himself, if they can retouch the teaching of NFTs and what NFTs are and how to trade NFTs. If we can find a place now that before I start work so that I can understand, because that NFTs and metaverse is a place that are also confusing me in crypto space. So if there's a day that will be picked within this time that I'm having time to stay here, so that I can actually learn, because I will come to NFTs, I will see a floor price. I don't understand all those things, floor price, all these things, add something. So they are all confusing to me. If there will be a time, a place, even if it's a day, taken for us to revisit NFT. I know that it must have been taught in the past, but I just wish the boss can just set up a day to retouch NFTs and the metaverse. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. We've taken notes of that and we'll look into it. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Richard, you can continue.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for this amazing opportunity. Good evening to everyone. Here is my question. I want to know the differences between. I usually see this Web 2, Web 3 stuff like that in the crypto space. Like I don't really know the differences between them and the significance. That's my question. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Favor, should I go ahead or you want to do justice to that? Hello? Mr. Favor,
Oh, sorry. Sorry, please.
don't know
I
what
didn't know that my mic was muted and I was busy talking. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
I can hear you.
Okay. When we talk about Web3, we are talking about decentralization, just in a short form. Decentralization, Web3, decentralization. That is what the Ethereum, not really Bitcoin, the Ethereum brought into the world of internet. The Web 2 is just like the internet, where we have our Web 2 companies that has to do with like our data's information, like everything that has to do with our information, everything we do on in the internet has to do with the Web 2. Like the Facebook, the WhatsApp, the blah blah blah, and the rest. They are all Web 2. But Web 3 has to do with decentralization, a situation whereby we are being we own our value, and we have control over our value. We are the one that decides to an extent how we want to make use of our value. So now, for example, Facebook now we know as one of the Web 2. In Facebook, initially, what we were doing in Facebook was just a kind of exchanging our data, discussing with people, chatting, doing blah blah blah, and the rest of them. But Web3 now made Facebook more advanced in the sense that they, as a Facebook user, when you bring in decentralization as a Facebook user, now how? Let's say now you get to Facebook, you are something like a content writer, or like we are in the cryptocurrency industry here. You are now earning through being a user or as a user of Facebook, building your network there, not just staying online, talking, giving Mark the money. So Web 2 is just internet, while Web 3 has to do with decentralization. So the statement we use here is that the Web 3 is what is powering the Web 2 industry. Web 3 is powering the Web 2 industry. That is powering the users of the Web 2 industry. So this is just a short, brief definition of what I can give. If Ms. Justina has more, so then Bosco has more, they can add to
All right,
that.
well done there. Let me add to what you just said. Okay, Mr. Easy, Mr. Richard. Okay, this is from my own point of view. We have Web 1, we have Web 2, we have Web 3. Web 1 is just like a one-way form of passing information. That is, information is being passed from point A to the receivers at the point B. Now, for instance, when you talk about, just like the analog system of communication, maybe for instance, the radio now, before we start having digital radios, somebody is just at the end passing information and others are hearing. There's no two-way form of communication. Do you understand? The radio anchor is just speaking and everybody's hearing the music or whatever topic is talking, but you can't really talk back to the person. You can't communicate. Communication is when there's a two-way form of communication or passing of information from point A to point B, from the sender to the receiver. So then for the Web 2 now is a two-way form of communication where from the message goes from the sender to the receiver. For instance, then another thing again that has to do with Web 2, fine, is a two-way form of communication, but there's a central authority that controls that flow of information. And that is where these big data big data companies are making their money. The likes of e-commerce, the like of Bezos, the like of Facebook, social media, all the social media handles, they are Web 2. That is why we are doing what we are doing here. I can talk, you can hear me, and you can talk back to me, and I can respond to you. So it's different from what we're doing in analog time when we just had one way form of communication. But then the problem here is that there's a central authority, and that is why Facebook can decide to ban you today. That is why on Twitter, Elon Musk can decide to ban you today. Fine, there's a two-way form of communication from the content creator to the to others that are receiving them, and they can actually interact two ways. But there is somebody that owns that platform that you're using to do that interaction, and that is where the control comes from. Just like Facebook, you can talk, you can dish out informations, others can react to your comments and all of that, meaning there's a two-way form of communication, but there is a central authority. And who is the central authority? The owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. And that is where he makes his money from the data that will feed him. He is there as a central authority to leverage on our data to make his money, just like what happens on e-commerce sites. Now, we now have the Web 3. The Web 3 is basically the blockchain technology and everything that it powers. Blockchain technology for Web3 is decentralized. It's a two-way form of communication, but this time around there is no central authority. It is decentralized. That is, there's no particular entity, there's no particular government that is in charge of what happens. So, and that's why we are saying that we are moving, as in everybody is moving to Web3, and there are already some social media platforms where that are already existing. I think one of them is Iris. I can't remember the guy that owns it. But in this place, there is no central entity. The owner of that platform does not own the data of people there. That is, for instance, a content writer. Let's assume if you're a content writer or a content creator in Web 2, you don't own access to your to the people that are following you. And that is why if you're a digital marketer, it's always advised that you run email marketing. Have an email marketing where you have your list of followers or list of clients, because in case if Facebook decide to ban you, you can resort to your email marketing list. But in this decentralized system, for the social media platform that is going to run on that decentralized system, there is no particular person that is in control. That is, as a content creator, you can decide to move all your followers from one platform to another, and there's nobody that is leveraging on your data. For instance, now the content writers or the content creators in Web 2, the owners of the platform are leveraging on their efforts because they are the one that will bring the data, while the owner of the platform leverage on that data to make his money from people that are running adverts and the rest of it. So basically, Web3 is about blockchain technology or artificial intelligence or all those advanced form of technology. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that clarity there. Mr. Richard, Salambosco, do you have more to add to this before?
You guys have said it all now, so no need of hammering on it again. You understand? No hammering on it again. Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 2, Wave 3, whenever Wave 2. Wave 2 are those things that we have been using. Facebook and less of the internet of
Wow.
all those things.
Wow.
Wave 2, Wave 2, Wave 3. Wave 3, Wave 2, as
Thanks
Jonah said,
very
centralized
much
authority.
for the
Centralized
great
authority, somebody that's doing it.
elaboration. Please, I don't know if I may ask one more question, please.
Am I the only one that can't hear you well?
I can't even hear them. I can't even hear them.
He was saying that he wants to ask another question.
Hello?
Good evening.
Anyone hear me?
I can hear you. Maybe the guy is having network issues, I guess.
Please, I have one more question.
Can I ask?
Please, just
Can I
control
go
this.
on?
Yeah, Mr. Richard.
You should send message. You should type it as a message because it's having network issues so that we cannot
Okay.
keep waiting for him to ask the question. It's already late. So if he still has question, please drop it in the community. We will pick it up from that place, answer your question. You don't need to continue waiting, keeping people waiting.
Okay, so I think that would be the best thing. Mr. Richard, your network is breaking. I was thinking that it's just from my side. So your network is breaking. Type the question in the group. We'll get it from there. Tag the
Um,
tutor for today's section. You can tag me as well, or Sir John Bosco to your question. Then it will be attended to there in the group. Okay, this is 9:41, and we need to go. This is to 10, so we need to go from here. So if there's anyone that has more question, or if there are people that have questions to ask, you can drop your questions in the group. Tag the group admins to your questions. We will attend to them there because of our time. So thanks, Mrs. Justina, for the wonderful training section this night. We all learned a lot from that. And thanks to the participants of the training for coming on board and giving us your listening ears for the contributions as well that have been made. So also thanks to Sergeant Bosco who joined us in the course of the training. So we'll be meeting again by tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for the Coders Tech morning program, Coders Tech Analytics. And we'll be having the continuation of this training by tomorrow, 8 p.m. So don't plan to miss it, 8 p.m. tomorrow. And today is 30th, tomorrow will be 1st. So happy new month in advance. So then I dropped the thing about the Binance. So for those of us who have been wondering, what are we voting for? There is a contest by Binance ecosystem for the best crypto tutor of the year, crypto tutor educator of the year. So it was one of the community members here that shared that with me and said we need to vote. So I went through it and saw that it's really something that we need to participate in. So please, if you haven't yet voted, do well to click on the link. I'll be sending the message again. Click on the link to cast your votes. In the fill in the option box there, just you can write Sergeant Bosco's full name, then you open a bracket and write his Twitter handle there, his Twitter username, Codastech AI, at Codastech AI. Write his full name, open the bracket and close his Twitter username there. That is the way it's done. Then you submit. After that, you also drop a comment below the Binance post, tagging Sergeant Bosco to your comments with his Twitter username at Codastech AI. So please, let's do that. I believe that we all in this community has benefited in one way or the other from his tutoring for years, months, weeks, and days. So depending on when you joined the community. So I really urge with all of us, let's do that. He wants the recognition. So let's do that. I believe if we all team up together and do that, we should be getting no less than 1,000 votes. This is a community of 7,000 plus. WhatsApp groups of up to 15. So if we all team up together and do that, yeah, we should be getting no less than 1,000 persons voting for him there. So okay, that will be all for now. That will be all the announcements for now. Sergeant Bosco, please, do you have any announcements to make? Hello, sir.
Okay, preparations to upcoming technical analysis. I took note of the recommendations of our members concerning making that trend to go viral, because it will be nice to give at least 1,000 persons the opportunity to learn technical analysis. If you can learn technical analysis and be good at that, with a lot of other trainings in this community, I'm telling you, you will be happy with yourself. When you start trading and grow your confidence and have a kind of psychologically stabilized, you'll be happy with yourself. Many people had paid, many people have been looking for where to learn this technical analysis. Some people wanted to learn it, but they did not have the finance to learn it. So I suggest and plead with all of us, if you have been gaining from what we are doing, help us spread this message. We need 1,000 members, not only within Africa, outside Africa, any country, as far as the person shows willingness and there is that desire to learn. That is only to the person. We demand from the person your willingness to take instructions and willingness to do assignments, because assignments are more than 50% of the training. You will practice while we are teaching, and you will teach while you are learning. We learn very well, better while teaching others. So because of that, we want to do a training that you will see that technical analysis in actual sense is not hard, but technical analysis is far greater than the charts. You are drawing chart, looking at charts, draw it up, use trend line, use the Fibonacci, use the moving averages. All those things are tools, but what makes a successful trader is experience and be able to control your emotions psychologically. When the market forces you to be emotional and you psychologically, you control your emotion. When you are losing trade, you'll be able to cut your losses, your losses on time. So all those things are things that will make you a successful trader. I've seen online some people asking, you don't use draw this chart, you don't use so. It doesn't take me anything to look at the market, draw chart with all those tools and post it online, and it will look very neat. It doesn't take me anything. But why is it that a lot of people that are putting up this chart, trading using mock accounts, when you give them live account, they will draw it? Why? Psychology, that psychology, or what we know as a congenital bias, is working against us. We need to deal with it. So what we are trying to do is simple. We are not training you with complicated, we are not setting up complicated system. People that are learning technical analysis in this community will tell you, we teach either 3 or 4. We are using 3 or 4 tools and simple techniques, because we believe making it simple, being consistent, and be able to control your emotion, that means being psychologically sound, is the best form of strategies one can use. You can know thousands of different indicators, thousands of different tools, but you can still be losing trade because the emotion is not controlled. So we want to give you technical analysis the way that you be happy, see that is not hard. In fact, in the lesson 5 or technical analysis, you can start analyzing the market. We have done it in this community several times. In the lesson 5, they started analyzing the charts, making predictions and winning their predictions. We have done it. So when we are talking of a technical analysis, it is not that hard. Only the difficult part of technical analysis is that, are you ready to show up every day? Are you ready to be consistent? Are you ready to do your assignments? These are only 3 things: commitment, being consistent, and taking instructions. These are only few things we need from you. It's not hard, but it's somehow hard. If you like to memorize different kind of candlestick pattern, you are just wasting your time. Cryptocurrency market does not obey your different kind of candlestick patterns. We teach you price action, how to use the overall macro condition of the market to study the market. We teach you candlestick analysis. How you can use candlesticks, the space between one candlesticks or their shadow, the space between them, know if the market can revise back and all these things. They use market price actions at the end of the day to make predictions. Then we use Fibonacci and the moving averages and other things that we are using. We use it to do the analysis. One thing I have seen, one thing that I know is that if you want to learn, we are ready to teach. I'm telling you this because we've done it before. In fact, one of us is not having enough time, he's engaged with other activities. He learns it and he's good at it. Some of us that even here in this community learned it from this community and are doing well. So there are no magics about it. The way we teach it, you even like it because you see that it's not hard. But the others, the difficulties around it is being consistent, showing up every day. That is being consistent, taking instructions, do assignments. That's just at the difficult side of it. So we are playing with all of us in this community. Though it's as just one thing that I beg of you for the new month of July, share this. The flyer will be coming up. I meet with the banner, the graphic designer. He has been the one helping us to design this banner. He has, even at late hours, he always answer me. I will still beg him by tomorrow, if we can get the banner tomorrow, we put up content so that we shall start sharing it. Then if there is digital marketer among us, meet me, let's discuss. I want to put up this banner. It is a high time that we start advertising what we are doing in this community. People are looking for this opportunity and we are doing it silently here. So we need to start announcing ourselves. They should come and learn. They shouldn't be missing the opportunities. So I am pleading with you all, please invite people to join. Tell them to join. It's not that hard. Many of them is confused because they had watched and continue watching different kinds of videos online on YouTube. And most of the videos on YouTube will confuse you the more instead of making you to understand it. So just tell them they should come. Share the flyers, put it on your social media handles. Let's have at least 1,000 members attending this. If we can graduate 500 at the end of the training, I'm telling you, you know what you've done? That 500 can go up tomorrow, train another 500. That is 1,000. That is 1,000 before the ending of the year. You might see that some of them have had paid classes, some of them had free classes. And collectively calculate everything, you see that, you have given a lot of people financial directions. So please, I am pleading. It's not by force. I'm pleading with all of us. Share this, tell them to come. We need them. Just 2 hours commitment or 1 hour commitment for 30 days. It is long, it is hard, but it's doable. People have done it in this community. You can do it. Just think of it, one of the tutors that will be doing it every day. I can remember then, Miss Favor has been helping the last one that we did, almost that she did almost everything. And 1 or 2 other persons that assisted her. But it's like she did everything. I did not even participate. I think I participated once or twice. She did everything. The other one, the first time we had it, I knew how I was struggling. From the office, I learned back no fuel, I buy fuel every day to make sure that we did that. We did that training. But my joy is that before the ending of the training, some of the participants, that was last year or last 2 years, some of the participants took over the job from me. They became so good that confidently I left technical analysis for them. And they were doing exceedingly, positive results. I became free. Now, since then, they have been taking up this training, giving it for free. For them, they want to give for free because they got it for free. They learned it for free. When some of them go out and monetize it, which is also, I'm very happy. See, this is one of the skills that you will learn. You can never go hungry. Apart from trading, you can monetize it, and people will pay. People are paying $500 to learn technical analysis, $300. I had people that came from Benin to Lagos for training. I had people that came from other states, even from Port Harcourt, for training here in Lagos. So you will make money. You can monetize it. If you like, you can monetize your skills. Miss Favor is having people from different states within Umaya, within within Owele and other places, Apebon, people that came from Apebon, It's because she understands it and she's doing it very well. So you yourself can use it as one of the high demanding skills online that you can monetize and people will be ready to pay you. Let me tell you this. Sometimes my engagement has made me not be faithful with a lot of people that paid for these services. What I do sometimes, if it come along like this, I push it to another person that can do it. Some of them I still beg them, please, or I need money, but I'm engaged. Can you assist? And being that in fact, they are really helping me. They will do the stuff without correcting any 50, assist me, train those people without correcting 50. I had corrected money and I told them I corrected money. So that is to tell you that it's a skill that nobody can take it away from you. As I am today, nobody. If I want to start trading again, I will disengage myself with all the jobs here and there, engage myself with projects and all these things, then focus on trading. And if I have the capital to be trading, I can be trading, making enough money every day. If I have up to 100,000, 200,000 trading capital, I'm telling you, I won't be forcing myself involved with a lot of projects here and there. I know projects are coming here and there. Come on, I want it to be this, I want it to be this. Sometimes I have disappointing, I use word disappointment. I can't keep myself. A lot of them, it was a kind of disappointment to a good number of them. But what am I saying? You have a skill that you can monetize. You've learned on-chain analysis. Why can't you just monetize it? I am asking you a question. Are you learning this thing for learning's sake? Don't you know that we are in an attention economy? What you know can pay you online. If you have learned on-chain analysis, what stops you to put up training? If you like, put up paid training, even if you just do 2,000, even if it's 3,000, even if you just $13, put it up. There is joy that you made money, that first money from your skills online. If you can make $10 online, $5 online, it will not take time. You start making thousands of dollars online. That is how it works. That is how it works. Here in Nigeria, I train people in Pakistan's on private classes. In favor, I train people from other countries, America, and less of them. Because she knows it. So you yourself, you can do the same. So please, this technical analysis, I want you to take it, even if I know you might be a married woman with children around you, but I knew there are some of us in this community that participated actively, that married, even sometimes you ask them questions, you see their children shouting, crying at the background, but every day they were showing up. At the end of the day, some of them are doing well. So I know if you want to look for excuses, you will see thousands of reasons, excuses why you should not participate. But if you really want to participate, you can find means and make yourself available. Spread this news. Bring these people to learn. They don't have money to pay for the services. They should come and learn it for free. If you are coming for technical analysis for me to teach you, ask any person. I don't collect anything less than, in fact, some of them that I collected $150 just because maybe they have been in the community, maybe somebody referred them to me, influence of that person, I collected $150. I do collect $300, $500 to teach you technical analysis, and it could be sometimes 2 weeks training, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes 1 month. So if you yourself, you can monetize this. So I am saying, in actual sense, let us give 1,000 persons technical analysis skill, so that in bull markets, all of them will be financially free. They can never forget you. So this is the announcement I have for this night. Then tomorrow, our training sessions continue tomorrow. We've not completed log pool and spams in cryptocurrency. We've not completed it. After that, then I finished the training on IDOs. I made a post on IDOs. I did explanation this morning. Then after that, I know that you are good to participate in on-chain and digital trading. So you will know if you want to involve in DJ trade, and I've given it. By that time, I will be confident to know that I'm giving the skills. Why DJ trading? I know that I know that you have the skill, you understand it. You can do some analysis on your own, despite that we are DJ trading. So once we conclude that 1 month trading challenge, DJ trading challenge will kick off. I did it in a way to equip ourselves with knowledge before we jump into it, so that you will not depend on me or favor or any other person in this community. We want you to learn how to do it on your own. Not when you see it is like, I don't know what to do, it's like opportunity. Before you know it, waiting for John Bosco, you may shout me. 2 days I have not responded, and you miss opportunity of taking out office. So all those things are the reasons why you should learn these things, so that we can make a decision on your own. The best thing a man or a woman can do to you is not be giving you money or sending coins to buy. Is to teach you how to do it, find the coins on your own, knowing the good coins from the bad ones. I think this is the best one can give to you. And this is what we are doing in Kodas Tech. It doesn't take me anything. After all, if I call coins, you will pay. It is money for me. It is money for favor. We still have Alpha community, and a good number of you will join. But we still find it reasonable, for humanic's sake, give them these skills. They should learn how to do it on their own, so that they can find all these things on their own. So we want you to help us this time around. Spread this news online. We need 1,000 members. 1,000 participants. At the end of the day, even if it's 50% of them graduated, I'm telling you, I'm very, very happy. I know that in this community, in a boom market, if you have 50 analysis, if you have 100 persons that can do technical analysis perfectly, in this community, did you know what will happen in this community in a bull market? If you enter this community in a bull market, it will be like a money-making community. Because you see analysis, maybe do analysis with this person, do analysis, send to Miss Favor approve it. You see coin that you can trade the ZIT and all these things. You still have trading low, but you can still do something. Let's just stop before you come into the community. You see that the community is doing excellently well. So we have vision of building an educated and knowledgeable community. This is our vision. Help us to achieve this vision. Thank you, Ms. Favor. Thank you, Justina, for the wonderful presentation and training this night. What Justina did today, I am expecting some of you to teach us. Did you know that I want to be learning from us? I still want to learn. Sometimes I don't usually have time to do many things. But when you are teaching, I will learn very fast. I had myself engaged with a lot of things. I've corrected a lot of materials I want to study Pilates, but some of them for almost 2 weeks I had not even had the opportunity to go through them. It was just yesterday I spent a lot of time doing some airdrops you guys had done, because I was engaged with a lot of things. So you teaching me, learning from me, I always demand it. I always like it. So please, if there is anything that you can teach us in Kodas Tech Academy, you are free to contact Ms. Favor or any of the admin. You will be given the opportunity to do it. Trust me, you need visibility, and Kodas Tech will give you the visibility. If you can learn how to make 1 or 2 steps, we will encourage you and guide you to make 100 steps online. Thank you very much for being here with us. This is After 10. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your audience. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. My network took me out at first. Thank you very much, sir, for all that has been said. So let's all meet tomorrow by 8 a.m. Good night and God bless you all. Enjoy.